Good Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this typically cold February day, the 11th of February 2015. Another chilly start to your morning on your way out the door this morning. Generally clear to partly cloudy skies, a few high mid-level clouds around the region. Temperatures are averaging from the teens in the Hudson River Valley area into the low and mid-20s in the New Jersey, New York City metro area. Down through most of New Jersey, temperatures are ranging anywhere from the teens into the low and mid-20s. And eastern Pennsylvania, too, has temperatures from the upper teens inland over Allentown and Scranton down to the upper 20s with a partly cloudy sky at Philadelphia International this morning. We still have a little bit of gusty winds out there this morning, and as a result, that's making for some wind chill values in the teens and single digits at this time. And from the New Jersey Weather and Climate Network at Rutgers University, our minimum temperatures this morning here in northwestern New Jersey, 5 degrees above in Walpack, 10 degrees above in High Point Monument this morning. These are the low temperatures before the sun's coming up now. And if we take a look at the current temperatures now, they're all on the rise. They're still quite chilly at 6 in Walpack, but they're rising across the interior of northern New Jersey from the mid-teens into the low and mid-20s throughout the entire forecast region. Morning national view of the chart here, the surface chart from weatherroanoke.com and digital atmosphere software shows our storm system well out over the southeastern Atlantic, high pressure building in across the region today, providing dry conditions and seasonally cold air for this time of the year. Here is our Clipper system entering the Great Lakes with its Arctic front. This is on the move for tomorrow and tomorrow night, and brutally cold air is high Arctic pressure built in across the forecast region on Thursday night and Friday into the weekend. We've got a very cold arrow for Cupid to be pointing and shooting on Saturday for the Valentine's Day celebrations. And of course, this is also President's Day weekend, first with Lincoln's birthday tomorrow and Washington's birthday celebrated on Monday. Morning pass of the satellite imagery this morning shows a few high mid-level clouds across the region. Most areas here are mostly clear or sunny as the sun comes up this morning. Water vapor channel shows a little bit of lifting here across Pennsylvania. Generally dry sinking air across the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, and Delmarva region this morning. The radar mosaic not showing much in the way of any precipitation here. This would be warm advective precipitation breaking out with that low and Clipper approaching the Great Lakes and into the Ohio River Valley this morning. We remained under a dome of high pressure, and with that dome of high pressure, we remain under a sinking air mass this morning with compression, and that's allowing for the skies and the weather to be generally precipitation free. Watch its warnings and advisories. This would be for basically central New York into southeastern New York and northern tier of Pennsylvania. This would be for dangerous wind chills for Thursday evening right through Friday morning. Wind chill readings as low as 20 to 30 degrees below zero in this region here. And the winds out of the northwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. I'm supposing that this will be expanded a little bit further south into the Poconos and northern New Jersey, perhaps the New York City metro area, the Hudson River Valley and Connecticut, but they're not issuing them at this time. For the marine deck, small craft advisories in effect through the oceans for tonight, the lower Delaware Bay through early tomorrow morning. Winds remain gusting at around 25 to 30 knots. Seas remain quite high on the ocean too. Winds will diminish throughout the day, but seas will remain elevated through tonight, so that small craft advisories will continue and may end up being converted to small craft advisories for hazardous seas later in the day. Now for Thursday, seas on the ocean necessitate extending the small craft advisory through the day. Sub-small craft advisories on the Delaware Bay for tomorrow. Thursday night and Friday, well, that's another story. A gale watch is in effect for northwesterly gale winds, also moderate freezing spray on the ocean fronts. Friday night, winds decrease below small craft advisories again, and they ramp up again later in the day on Saturday and Saturday night, possibly reaching gale criteria once again with more freezing spray. Sustained gale force winds definitely possible on Sunday. Storm force gusts possible as well. Moderate freezing spray possibly becoming heavy during Sunday night. Not a good time to be out on the waters during this weekend. Nice and calm on the flight decks this morning. The aviational area forecast VFR conditions will prevail across the region today into most of tonight. So just some high clouds will occur at the start of today, and then some lower clouds near the coast. The cloud cover will increase later in the day as the lower and will lower tonight as well. And VFR ceilings may begin moving into the area overnight toward daybreak on Thursday. Winds will start out mostly north-northwest at around 5 to 10 knots. Occasional gusts this morning. The winds will become more northeast and easterly through the day and will diminish as well, eventually becoming light and variable later this evening and overnight. On Wednesday and Wednesday night, mainly VFR, some MVFR possible late northwest winds at the airports. Thursday, tomorrow, VFR to start. Snow could reduce conditions in MVFR and IFR, especially over the northern airports and terminals. Thursday night through Friday night, mainly VFR, very strong and gusty northwesterly winds, likely exceeding 30 knots, winds decreasing Friday night. Saturday into Saturday night, chance of snow could once again reduce conditions in MVFR or IFR, increasing northwest winds Saturday night. And on a Sunday, VFR, but very bitterly cold and windy. Gusts could exceed 40 knots and very, very cold. Dangerous, choppy conditions to be on the flight decks here at the airports and terminals, and I'm sure there'll be some kinds of restrictions or perhaps hazards as a result of these strong winds over the weekend. Right now outside of Newark, it's 22 degrees, dew point 12, humidity 65%. The wind is northeast at 16. Overcast skies with a few high-level clouds at 25,000. The wind chill makes it feel like 8. VFR in place, scattered to broken clouds. Light snow comes in early tomorrow morning and around dawn, and that light snow continues into the early morning hours as well. So do plan on some slippery road conditions early tomorrow morning across this region. Philadelphia right now is 27, dew point 16, humidity 63. The wind is just about north at about 9. A few clouds at 15,000. Wind chill makes it feel like 18. Scattered to broken clouds, lowering and thickening during the afternoon hours. VFR conditions in place. And remembering the winter storm of last year at this time, which would have been around, well, Valentine's Day. It was the Valentine's Day snowstorm here in the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area. We had snow amounts here in interior New Jersey, the coast of Monmouth down through Trenton, and outside into Philadelphia, where amounts exceeded 8 to 12, 12 to 16 inches across portions of Pennsylvania. That's not going to be the case this Thursday with a clipper moving through, and it will not be the case this Saturday either, but the chances of snow in the forecast are both there for both these time periods, and we'll get into that in just a moment. NAM 4-kilometer precipitation type and cloud forecast from Penn State's eWall site. This is off the 6E run this morning. Mostly sunny today. Clouds do lower and thicken tonight as the Clipper system here moves in towards the Great Lakes in southeastern Canada, drags an Arctic front through the region on Thursday. There will be some clouds around. There will be some light snow showers around. Most of this will amount to a trace to an inch over the interior and probably even less than that right around the coast. Could be a little bit of enhancement on Long Island and interior Connecticut, but for the most part, generally an inch or less across most of the region. Then skies break and Arctic air just pours into the metropolitan area with a mixture of clouds and sunshine on Friday, and we're talking about temperatures here not getting out of the teens on Friday afternoon with blustery northwesterly winds. Early morning run of the NAM 12-kilometer near surface reflectivity and basically pressure here along the eastern United States, the northeast here. As we go into the forecast period, here's our Clipper system diving down through the Great Lakes and then redeveloping a little bit off the coast. There could be some enhancement to the snow across interior Massachusetts once again, where they're already at about 5.5 feet of snow on the ground and nowhere to put it here in the Boston area. Interior Rhode Island, interior Connecticut, the eastern end of Long Island could have some enhancement to this too by Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. The big story is the tight pressure gradient and the strong and cold Arctic high pressure that will be building into the region on Thursday night and Friday, dropping temperatures on Friday morning. If we looked at the temperatures here on Friday morning, and Friday afternoon, we're starting out below zero over the interior portions and near zero over the northern portions, and just single digits above into the lower teens here, or just single digits across the entire New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. By Friday afternoon, temperatures probably not getting much above the low to the mid-teens across the entire forecast region. What's interesting here is that cold air will linger into the region on Saturday. Saturday will warm up just slightly. Saturday will probably warm up. We're still running anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 degrees below normal here in the temperature department. Normal highs this time of the year right around 40 degrees or so, give or take a degree or two up or down on the scale here. Colder over interior Pennsylvania and the Poconos, and warmer across the Delmarva, but nonetheless we are just cold, and this forecast will introduce the chance of snow again on Saturday as another clipper moves through the region and then develops off the coast. Location is always key, and when we look at the current 500 millibar analysis here with our wind vectors from Google Earth wind map community, This is a positive NAO with our high pressure ridge well removed from Greenland here. So we're definitely not seeing too much in the way of blocking here. Very strong negative EPO, negative WPO, Western Pacific Oscillation with our Aleutian low. A very strong and active polar and Arctic jet stream across with a positive PNA here with our ridge axis a little bit further to the west here than we'd like to see it, but downstream troughing in the means across the Hudson Bay region all the way through the central United States. We still find that cutoff low in the southwest that models always having problems with. And basically, this is a very pattern that supports fast-moving weather systems and clippers that redevelop in the warmer water here off the northern mid-Atlantic and southern New England coastal states. And this is why we keep getting misses here with no blocking to slow down these systems. And as a result, the redevelopments are too far to the east, and then New England and the Cape being stuck out here produces the most of the snow. GFS maps into motion. Here comes the Arctic front. Our clipper tomorrow morning. A little bit of snow enhancement once again in the aforementioned areas. Cold, windy conditions. Arctic air spilling in rapidly and dropping temperatures rapidly from 850 millibars all the way down to the surface. This becomes a little bit of a nuisance here for southern New England with a little bit more snow here on the Cape, especially the eastern ends of the Cape, then cold high pressure for the weekend. Here comes the next clipper in the northern stream here, and that dives down through the region, possibly reaching the New Jersey coastal waters with more enhancement here as it gets out towards New England. There's a little bit of a northern trough or an inverted trough here. This throws back moisture, increases the chances of snow across southern New England, but we're not looking for a lot of snow here on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, and that moves out. The storm deepens rapidly, and very strong winds as a result of the thermal gradient and the packing of the isobars here leads to very strong gusty winds and very cold, bone-chilling Arctic air that probably rivals that of January of 2014 and even possibly back from 1976 or 1996 actually in 1979. So some very, very cold Arctic air coming into the region. Dry conditions set the stage with modifying temperatures and lessening winds during the period of the holiday weekend as we were in President's Weekend. And then comes our next trifecta here. This is warm air advection storm cutting up through the Tennessee River Valley, begins to break out snow across the region on Tuesday morning. Could be snowing pretty good to the north and rain and mix to the south again, 78. We just don't know if this is going to be more of an inland track. The latest GFS shows that it will and changes the precipitation to rain right along the coast and even in New York City and northwestern New Jersey on Wednesday morning. That could change because if we looked at last night's model run for the same time period, it also produces a little bit more icing across the region. First starts out with snow, then goes to ice and then rain, and then back to snow on the northwest side. So we'll take one storm at a time and see where the setup goes here in the northern Atlantic to determine whether this is further to the west with a retrograding ridge out west or whether this is going to be more of a coastal storm with cold air locked in place. And you can see on Saturday temperatures struggling out of the teens and low and upper 20s across the region. They do warm up a little bit, but then comes the next batch as that system moves off the coast. Temperatures drop down into the teens and below zero again over interior sections on Sunday morning. And it's just a cold and blustery Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday afternoon probably not making it out of the teens. We could find temperatures actually near zero for the afternoon highs on Sunday across northwestern New Jersey, the Poconos, New York City, the lower Hudson Valley. These are actually forecasted high temperatures. Now, the other model guidance is supporting a little bit warmer air across the region on Sunday, but nonetheless, this is brutally cold air, dangerous to be outside. And on Monday, temperatures modify a little bit after record lows probably in the morning as well. We'll take a look at those records tomorrow in the forecast. Monday, we start out very cold in the morning, and we lead our way into Tuesday. And Tuesday, we begin to break out with warm air advection, but we're over a cold dome, so everything starts out as snow. The atmosphere begins to warm up according to the model guidance on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, so some of that precipitation changes over to rain. We don't have all the details on that yet. And then it looks like more cold air coming back in right behind that system as well. So an active pattern on the way and a very cold and dangerously cold pattern on the way. So you're really going to have to bundle up and pay close attention to each forecast detail going in over the next couple days. And of course, we'll be monitoring everything live on Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You have a pleasant Wednesday. We'll be back in video form on Thursday morning.